What's up YouTube? My name is Eduardo and today I'm taking a look at the cang-toys Dragon Girl. Okay, so she's a right here 1/12 scale action figure and I got her from 5K Toys for around 75-ish dollars. So if you want to get her, I suggest doing it from there while she's still in stock. Here's the side of the box, artwork again. Here's the actual action figure though. Looks pretty cool. I like all these things she comes with, like big fan, sword, other sword, and a few faces. So, this box is pretty big actually. And look, width is pretty tall too, so I'm assuming that's probably because of this base. 9 inches tall, or maybe it's 4 and 1/8 inches tall. I don't know which one's the height and the width. But anyways, that's enough rambling. Let's take her out of the box and see if she's a cool action figure or not. I hope she is. She looks cool. 75 is a lot though, so let's see how she compares with SH Figure Arts, I guess, is the closest comparison. Alright, let's go. Alright, so now that I've taken her out of her packaging, I think she looks really good. I mean, it's no longer the year of the dragon, but maybe in 12 years this video will get some views. But for now, I really like the design of this figure. I like the dragon-ish parts of her, and I like this dress too. And it's got all these nice gold trimmings around it, and she's got a lot of like dangly bits on her too, like that golden rope around her chest, and those like tassels on her thigh. But there's a problem with those. We'll get to that later. So just speaking aesthetics, I think they nailed it. This is a really appealing figure. Alright, so the face, I would say, is pretty good. Compared to the competition though, I think SH Figure Arts and Figma are better. I don't really like how her nose is like kind of invisible. But under this lighting, you can see how it's actually pretty detailed. I really like the amount of detail they put into the eyes specifically. So the printing is pretty good. As for the rest of her head, I would say also good. I really like those golden chopsticks that she has in her hair. Those are always my favorite part on characters, when they put sticks in their hair like that. The ears and the horn are also pretty cool, but they look kind of brittle, so you're gonna have to be careful with her head, because if she falls, actually I don't think she can hit her ears. Maybe the horns though, she can fall and hit her horns and they might snap off, so be careful when you're handling this thing, like when you're swapping faces or something. Alright, that's enough aesthetics for now. Let's talk about the feel of the figure. So I would say that she leans a bit closer to model kit than she does to Figma. Now bear in mind I don't have too many model kits, but that's just how I feel. Now this tassel right here is gonna end up being a problem, because every time you lift up the leg it like bends it, and you can see like some glue there exposed because it's starting to tear off. I don't know why the other leg doesn't have that problem. Maybe I'm doing something wrong there, but eventually the tassel is probably gonna fall off, so that's kind of bad. They should have designed that better maybe. Alright, let's move on to the accessories, because she has so much. Seriously, I think half of the price of the figure went into all these extra things that she comes with. Okay, first you get this cool dragon arm. It's got these sharp pointy bits so don't get stabbed, and it's got double jointed elbows and wrist articulation. Swapping them out is easy. All you gotta do is slide off her arm and then plug in the new dragon arm. Also, you do get a grabby hand for the dragon arm in case you want her to hold something. Speaking of hands, she also comes with these two relaxed hands two grabby hands. These style pose hands, I guess. I'm sure you can come up with some kind of pose for these. And a single pointing finger. This one's actually meant to be used on the pipe thing. You just insert it in that little hole right there. The pipe is also a cool looking accessory. It's got like this fabric rope thing, and she's got like a little tassel dangling there. Not sure what she's smoking. I guess that's up to your imagination, but still it's a cool accessory and one that I'm pretty sure most people will be posing her with. She also gets this pretty cool sword, or maybe it's a gladius, I think. It's got this nice pattern that you can feel on it, and it's a little bit wavy, but I don't recommend doing that. You might break it. And she holds it pretty well, so no complaints here. She also comes with this really cool translucent fire piece that you just insert it into the sword. So now she's got this cool flame sword. One thing that I forgot to mention is that she comes with two front hair pieces, one with the fire effect and one without it. Now let's talk about the fan. It's a really beautiful fan with the bluish green and the black, and it's got the gold trimmings on there. It matches her color scheme. It also doubles as a sheath for the sword, but I don't really like putting it there because it kind of messes with the little display piece that it comes with. It's also a bit heavy, so don't expect her to do too much with it. She pretty much just holds it. Still cool though. Out of the box, it does come separated, so you're gonna have to attach it yourself. But if you don't want to, you can just have this piece out and kind of fold it in like this and have like a really cool sheath for the sword. I kind of wish there was a spot to attach it on her, but all you can really do is just hold it like in the same spot that you would hold the fan. Here's another accessory. She gets this alternate like front dress piece that you have to attach yourself by ripping off her torso, and then the piece just plugs in and out. And what this is for is a way for her to lift her legs up without the dress getting in the way, so you're able to put her in sitting poses if you want. So that's a pretty interesting solution to the dress getting in the way. Also, one of her tassels fell off, like I knew it would. It's not a game breaker because you can easily just plug it back in, but it's still annoying. Alright, so the last thing to mention is that display stand that you see in the background there, so let me just bring that up to the forefront. And here it is. You get a really nice display stand. It comes with a chair, a stand for the fan, and this like, I don't know, what do you call that thing? Wall part, I guess? Also, that black base, you can actually pull out that top part and it acts as storage for all the stuff she comes with. But anyways, she can sit on the chair really well, so this is a really cool display. And the value is crazy because I paid like $80 for this, so you are getting more bang for your buck for this thing compared to an SH Figuarts or a Figma. Almost forgot to talk about the tail. It's very long and it's got like a bendy wire. There's also a hinge joint there. And you just plug this into like this hole right above her butt. And here she is with the tail. You can use it to like keep her balance, but she's got pretty good balance just on her 2 feet, so you could probably lift up the tail and she'd still be able to stand up even though she's wearing high heels. But anyways, we're finally done with accessories, so let's talk about the articulation and just handling this figure. Alright, so in terms of articulation, it's mostly standard stuff. Her arms got a hinge, double jointed elbows, and her wrist has this hinge joint. Her arm can rotate all the way around, but mine is pretty tight on the left side there. There's a swivel on her upper arm, but anything that you swivel, it could just like pop off, so that's pretty annoying. The head is a double ball joint, I think, one attaching to the head and the other to the neck, and her pigtails are also on ball joints, so you can move them around. Her upper torso is also on a ball joint, and she's got really good range of movement there, so that's really good. She can bend up and down a pretty decent amount. There's also a ball joint in the abdomen area, but it's harder to get her to move around in that section. Her range of motion in her legs is only okay, and she only go about this far unless you utilize the drop down hips, but I have a hard time getting her hips to drop down. The manual does mention that you can actually pull out her arms a bit so you can increase her range of motion, and then there's the drop down hips mechanic so you can have her kick higher, but it's pretty hard to do for some reason. I find it easier to just separate her waist from her body and then just position her legs how you want them, and then to just reattach the body. As for the rest of the legs, she's got the thigh swivel, she has double jointed knees, her ankle can move down and up, further up than it can down, and you can also swivel it, I guess, but remember, anytime you swivel anything on this figure, it pops off, so that sucks. Alright, so posing is good, but I hate how parts just pop off of this figure, and the thigh tassel things also are like almost guaranteed to break if you try to lift her legs up. Alright, let's do some size comparisons. She's a little bit on the tall side, just over 6 inches. Here she is next to the Marvel Legends Spider-Man, Jakks Pacific Mario, Star Scream, and She-Hulk. And here are some other figures I had on hand, in case you're interested. Here is the Figma Sophia F. Shearing, my first review I think, and the SH Figuarts Chun-Li and 2B. So she is taller than them, but not too out of place I think. And that's it for the cang-toys Dragon Girl. She certainly has her flaws, but they made up with it by giving you a ton of stuff for the asking price anyways. And she has an appealing design that looks great in all angles. You could probably guess why I bought this figure. Doesn't take a genius to figure it out. Now, should you pick this up? Well, you are getting a lot of stuff, which is all useful I think. So if you're able to get her at the $70 to $80 range, then I would say go for it. But I've seen listings that are $100, $120, and handling this figure isn't the greatest, so for that I'd probably say to skip this one. And I'm giving her a 3 out of 5 if you can keep the price below $95, I guess. And that's all I have to say. Goodbye. Also, I know I forgot to talk about the extra faces that she comes with, so here's some pictures in case you're curious.